Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
G'day and welcome. This is the Hunting Republic podcast. The podcast where we discuss all things hunting and outdoors.
And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind.
So if you love hunting, camping, fishing, hiking, bushwalking, full driving, or just being in the outdoors, then we reckon you've come to the right place. My name is Luke, I will be your host, and I can't wait to have you along for the journey. So please enjoy this edition of the Hunting Republic podcast. G'day team, and welcome to another edition of the Hunting Republic podcast. Today's episode is, we finally got around to sitting down and catching up with Scott and Jamie from Urban to Outland. If you cast your minds back a few episodes, you might remember that we had an attempt at sitting down for a chat, and we got about 35 or so minutes in before gremlins crept in, and for some reason Jamie went absent on the audio track, so we had to chop the recording short when we published that episode, even though we actually chatted for a good solid couple of hours. So it was a bit disappointing in that regard. However, they gave us a good excuse to sit down and have another chat and record a bit of a episode for whomever would like to listen to it. So a bit of water under the bridge since then. That was immediately prior to myself and my family heading off overseas in September, and it's been a good 4 or 5 months or whatever it is since then, and seasons have passed, a bit of hunting done, and some plans made for the future. So we talk about all that in the episode. We also we go over, talk a little bit about our gear and what we use, and bits and pieces and the reasons why. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you look the boys up. As mentioned, Urban to Outland. Check their links. They're on YouTube. That's their YouTube channels, Urban to Outland, Instagram and Facebook. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy listening to us having a bit of a chat, and don't forget to get in touch. Give us a like, give us a share, and subscribe so you keep up to date with future editions of the Hunting Republic podcast. See you on the other side, guys. Welcome back to the podcast, boys. Episode 2, after we kind of shit the bed a little bit last time, and Jamie went AWOL after about 40 minutes, mate. So, no, welcome back.
Pleasure to be here.
This I think is looking like it's going to be a 2-part episode as well. But I don't know, maybe we can pick up the second half again a bit later on tonight, if we've got time. But I believe Jamie's got dad duties to tend to in a little while, so
that's it.
Let's get on with it. What's happened since we last talked, boys?
That awkward silence pause.
Well,
not much with me. I've been following Scott around the bush where he just shoots everything. So,
well, the other day just dropped. How many deer, Scotty?
Yeah, there was 3. That was a nice little haul. So, no, we've been getting out. We're trying to get out to that property and remove a few deer still for the property owners, and trying to sort of pattern a few bucks that we've got our eye on for one for Dad anyway. Hopefully when he gets back on deck. But yeah, it's been all right. We've been dropping a few deer here and there.
And that
none for me this year yet.
I'm sorry.
None for me yet either, mate. That was an awesome haul there the other day, Scott. Bucket load of meat for you, mate.
It was really good. I wasn't even expecting them to be where they were, to be honest. The properties that we've got access to is, I think we might have mentioned it in even the last podcast, or it might have even been the bit that didn't record, but there's like a group of 2 or 3 properties that are side by side. There's a couple of big gullies that feed down, down this sort of hill, I guess. Jamie and I sort of usually split up to, more eyes on ground and cover a bit more area. He went sort of one way. I went up around the top to get the wind right. And, basically just jumped from one fence property to the next. And 10 steps in, it was like, oh, crap, there's like the arse of one just feeding down, 80 metres in front of me. And I only thought there was the one, maybe two to start with. So I sort of got into position. And, noticed there was 5 of them in total.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I was actually watching one. I was like, oh, they're all feeding through. Didn't know idea that I was there. I had the 308. So, I lined up one with the scope. And I was like, oh, I'm just waiting for that one to just go to broadside a little bit and, nail that. I sort of looked out at the peripheral and there was one that was probably 50 metres in, staring right at me just behind this tree. So I was like, oh, crap. So focused that attention to that, dropped that straight away. And then, for some reason, they didn't bolt. Normally when we do shoot them, they give us very little chance for, follow-up shots. Jamie's been lucky and he's shot 2 in the past and Dad's done the same thing with 2. But it's usually the case that you shoot and then just all hell breaks loose and they take off. But they were sort of just stunned looking around like, oh, shit, where did that go? Looks like Barry's just been down, dropped down on the ground for some reason. So then, the next one lined up. I was like, oh, I may as well shoot that as well. And after the second shot, there was two other ones took off down the hill, sort of towards the direction that Jamie would have been walking up. And then, the third one that I got sort of took another, 10 metres or so, gave me another shot. So dropped that as well. So, 3 within, it was like 20 seconds.
So was the hardest part?
It was, really
was it the shooting or was it the slipping them the rehypnol so they'd stand still and?
Yeah. That's the difficult part. Does this rag smell like ether?
and Jamie untying them just before they walked out from behind the tree. So
Yeah. I'm like, ready to go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But
we just edit those little bits out of any videos.
That's right. Yeah. Pure canned hunting at its best. No, that's awesome, man.
And so it was really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And what did you, obviously you field dressed them and you, I think you said in your little video up on socials there that you're able to get the vehicle quite close.
Yeah, it was perfect actually where it was because we could pretty much drive the car, right back it right up to where they were. It's pretty open sort of gully.
Yep.
So easy access for the vehicle. And because it's dry as well. When it's a bit wetter, it's a bit harder to get down into there. But it's dry as, so drove it straight up. We loaded the 3 up into the car, come back to my place. Jamie took one home, to butcher up, and then I ended up just butchering up the rest the day after.
Yeah, nice. And
we don't normally get that lucky in Bound Harbour, drive the car up to something to pick it up. Doesn't normally happen like that.
No, absolutely
not. Have to carry it out or whatever. So when Scott said that he got it, I was pretty excited. I was like, yep, we can drive the car straight there. That's awesome.
They're the best carryouts ever, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And
so it worked out well.
What's your favourite cut off a deer then?
I don't know. We tend to eat. I don't know. I feel like the back straps. We use the back straps a lot and make schnitzels out of them and crumb them up. And make schnitzels. So that's probably one of the preferred ones. We do mince a hell of a lot of it and make burgers and so forth. So that's sort of one of my go-tos.
Yum. Yep.
One of my go-tos as well. But Jamie not so much. But we tend to eat like the shanks and that as well. Slow cook the shanks. They come up a treat. Slow cook even the neck sections. We've tried that not long ago as well. A whole neck.
Yep.
And just slow cook that for 5 hours or whatever in the oven. And it just falls apart. You can just put a spoon into it and it just falls apart. It's just unreal.
Fantastic. What's your sort of recipe? Do you throw in some garlic and onion and that sort of good stuff? What do you do?
No, now you're asking the technical questions because I'm not a cook's arsehole, really.
He's the eater, not the cook.
Yeah, I'm the eater. I'm not the preparer. Yeah, I leave that to the wife. Michelle sorts all that out. So I think she's actually planning on trying to do some recipes, and we've taken some pictures for Wild Deer magazine or something like that. So she might send in a few recipes in there. But she adds all her little herbs and so forth into the mix. And if it's a roast that we do, maybe put a rub over it or just some garlic and whatever else in there, and it just tops it off nicely.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm actually just trying to think back to, and admittedly, like this morning, I was out working in the yard, butchering up some of my wife's lovely palm trees that the solar panel man accidentally told me they had to go. So Uh,
Oh, that's a shame.
I was out there with a chainsaw and I had the headphone, or I had the earmuffs on, which are Bluetooth, and I was listening to our last podcast that the Gremlins decided to invade partway through and cancel Jamie out of the conversation, or well, the recording.
Nothing unusual. Just get blocked out.
That's it. Just stonewalled, cold. He's done.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I got through listening to that, and I'd actually, I thought, well, I might come inside and sit down before we have our chat now, and sort of try and listen to the rest of it. And well, at least 2/3 of it, because Jamie wasn't actually recorded, but I didn't get a chance to. So I'm sort of trying to remember some of the stuff that we covered off on, but didn't actually get to throw up. Are your memories as bad as mine? Because like that was the day before I left and went overseas, and there's been a shit ton happened since then.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. I can't remember either. We talked about a bit of everything.
I know we did talk about a hell of a lot of stuff. I think there was a bit of Brackenware talk in there. There was some Osbo Press talk. There was just some random hunting stories and other bits and pieces. But off the top of the head, I can't remember too much more than that. I thought we'd actually had a good run that time, but obviously half of it cut out, and well,
2/3 of it was absolute gold. Obviously, 1/3 of it was absolute crap, and
that's it.
Oh, we just can't win.
No. Beggars can't be choosers around here. So, so let's. Well, we're back there talking. That was 20th of September, give or take. I think we flew out on the 21st or the 22nd, something like that, and we were sort of, coming towards the end of the year, and summer was starting to warm up. What sort of hunting did you get out and do, towards the later end of the year and over Christmas and that sort of thing?
I don't think there was a huge amount because it was warming up, quite a lot in there. I mean, there was basically just a lot of trying to to find out what deer are on this property, as far as bucks and stuff like that goes. And as Scott was saying, I was on the other end of the property when he shot the fallow just recently. The 3 deer that I actually seen that same day, one we've been following for a long time, and as what Scott was saying about trying to get a buck for Warren, he's pretty much picked one of those bucks which we call Gandalf. If you can get that, that'd be good. But there's a few in there that that we have earmarked. Some good quality ones that we've earmarked, but that's basically what we've been doing since last time we spoke, is just trying to see what deer are in the area and how they're growing and things like that. Just getting our reconnaissance down pat for the rut.
So, have you had that property access long?
Must have been 3 years now, because it's the last 2 ruts that we've gone down and tried to get said buck. But there's more there now anyway. But the one that we're looking for it's an all white coloured one. We've named it Gandalf, and I had a crack at that one the first year, just before the rut. It might have been just after. Anyway, but no, it was just before, because we had plans to try and get it and see it during that rut, and then didn't get the opportunity. Then the next time we've didn't get a chance to have a crack at it, and then now it's this one coming. So I'd say the last 3 years at least we've had access to this property, but we've been watching this one grow, and in a way it will be a little bit of a shame when we do get it, because the genetics are pretty good. But it also won't be a shame because we are helping the property owners out.
That's it.
A lot of people in the area are starting to have an issue with these deer overbreeding. So we're just going to do our bit and keep everyone happy as well.
So have you sort of seen him there for the 3 years you've been on there?
Yep. I had a shot at it, and I missed the first time that I saw it, and it was only it was a rush shot at about 80 meters or something, and I missed, which I'm glad that it wasn't a bad hit or anything. That's with the rifle, not with the bow. And then I think the one after that, we'd seen it on multiple occasions, but it's just so cagey and smart. It just knows, when people are around, all the different sounds and smells, and when something's different, he's onto it. So, but we'd say he's probably the biggest granddaddy in the area. He's been there for years, doing a lot of breeding and stuff. So
that was going to be my next point. Was sort of like, I suppose, then over that time he's actually had the opportunity to pass on his genetics, and even if you do take him out, like his genes are still going to be, through his offspring, and he's had that opportunity over the years, because it's not like he rocked up and shot him while he was a spiker in velvet sort of thing,
That's it, exactly. I mean, he's at his prime now, but we're noticing. Well, so I think he's probably a little bit above his prime, but we're noticing there's more bigger bucks hanging around as well. Like a few weeks ago, we went out looking for some deer, and I got some footage that I ended up just putting up on socials of 3 deer, what we call the trifecta, and it's Gandalf is in there. Then there's a bigger white spotted one, and there's a brown one as well, and and you can tell the bigger spotted one, well, the spotted one's slightly bigger than him. So this year will be interesting to see what happens in the rut, whether, if he doesn't get taken, we don't get an opportunity or whatever, what happens between those two, for fighting over the females in the area or whatever.
Yep.
But either way, the brown one, which was the smaller of all of them, it's still good as well. A little bit of a stick sort of head, but definitely well worth, to look at and see if we can get the opportunity to take it out first or whatever. I mean, it's not always about the bucks for us. We'll shoot anything that's, we get an opportunity at. But if we can limit the numbers in this area, then I think the property owners will be super happy. And not just the property owners that we're on, it's the neighbours as well. That they're saying, they're eating their gardens and everything like that. And in the area that it's at is quite populated with there's a lot of properties around it. I've live around the area. People live there, and they are an issue on the roads and things like that. So every time we talk to them, they're always telling us, oh yeah, come down and have a shot, because we've seen 2 in the vegetable garden this morning or whatever. And but yeah, our focus at the moment is to try and see what animals are growing down there, and can we get something for Warren when he's back and able to get in the bush again. So that's a big thing. If he can have a crack at one of those bucks, then we will be satisfied. Doesn't matter what happens with us this rut, as long as he gets something.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I forgot what I was going to say now.
Mustn't have been too important.
Must have been a lie. No, I was going to say, well, Scotty and I've got that hunt on the Reds booked in for late March. When are you looking at tarts?
Are you hunting with that,
Sorry, had something stuck in my throat.
We all have choices.
I thought you were just giving it to my cameraman. I thought that's what the idea was.
Does he always this funny, Jamie?
Yeah.
No, I'm hanging out for that. We can talk about that later, but I'm hanging out for that.
We can. But what I was thinking was, so when are you guys looking at targeting the fallow on this property? And what sort of time frame?
Well, normally we would plan. People say, it's April. Normally we'd plan around that same time. Early to mid-April we would start looking, and then from mid-April onwards. But we're finding, and I don't know if anyone else is in the same sort of thought process as us, but we're looking at also, obviously the temperature makes a big decision on when we go, but I'm also looking at moon phases as well, whether the full moon is going to be different. Again, other people probably think the same, or they probably already thought about it, and doesn't really make a difference, but I'm looking at that as well. So if we can start looking at the moon phases at the end of March, and just seeing what's happening with the temperature and stuff there, we'll actually start looking then, and then just go. It's just opportunity from then on, But I did find that other places that we have gone in the state forest in the like years before this property, that I think that the moon phases definitely played a role in how long they spend out on fringe country and on property and feeding and things like that. And that's actually worked quite well for us with some of the bucks that I've got in the past. I know that we've played the moon phases, as well as the temperature makes a big thing, but I think if we can look at when the full moon is towards the end of March or early April, we would start then.
How do you find that full moon affects their habits and behaviors?
This again, it's just my theory, but I have a theory that if the full moon is up for majority of the night, like again what a full moon is, and it's pretty bright, they won't be out in the open as much, and they stay awake for longer. I think again, it could be a dud theory, I don't know, but I know it's the same with some other animals, that if it's full moon, they they are just less active in the open. But if there's no moon, then, they might be out and about a bit more as well.
Yeah.
But I know the last few ruts before we had this property, we just thought we'd give it a crack on when there's no moon, and we just found that there was a lot more deer activity still out in open areas more than other I guess other times, because if there's a full moon they can be seen and they don't like to be seen. So that's basically the theory there. Yep.
Yeah. And temperature wise, what's your thoughts there?
Again, rumor has it that they say when the first frost hits the ground, the best time to go. But we just want to do when it's in the low teens. So if it's 14, 15, something like that, we're happy with it. The cooler, the better. But we've actually been out in multiple temperatures, and it doesn't matter. It could be 24 degrees, and we've seen them out as well. You know what I mean? It's just in the shady spots. We'll just stick to the sort of the shady spots, the darker areas where they'll hang out. But we would prefer it if it was, mid to low teens or less than that. So
yeah. And will you think you'd be preferencing the bow before the rifle and looking to hunt with the bow first, and then default
it
to the
depends
rifle
where we are.
if you don't have much luck, or
pretty much we have a rule of thumb that if I take a gun and Scott has his bow and we see a deer and has the opportunity, he'll definitely go with the bow first. It's just not even a question. It's just like, there's a deer, you have a crack with the bow. If it looks like you can nail it, then good. But if I've got a rifle and it's like, oh, I'm never going to be able to make it over there because of the wind swirl or whatever, then it's just a safer option to take a shot with a rifle. The private property that we go on, though, we've got a little bit of a thing where we don't really want to use the bow at all. It's just gun, because it is also pest control as well, you know what I mean? And we want to try and just minimize the effect of any possible issues that might happen with a bow, a bad shot, anything like that. We don't want to go down that avenue, and try and make a quick ethical kill as much as we can, because as we all know that if there's a bad bow shot happens, and it does happen in hunting, even with rifle as well, but if there is a bad bow shot, then we don't want any repercussions coming back on anybody. So,
there's the size of the property sort of impactful on that, as in, is it a smaller place and there's chances deer can run next door and people next door aren't compassionate to that, or
yes, we get that a bit. It took us a while to get. We sort of had access to the property that was on the right, and they used to always run into the property in the middle, which was sort of no man's land for us for a long time. And then we gained access around onto the left-hand sort of properties, and that sort of extends down to another property as well. But we always were noticing that these deer were going back into the middle property, and we're like, we need to get access to that. So one of the other owners was really good in sort of cheering us on and rooting for us, I suppose, and putting a good word, and finally got onto this other guy's property, and that's sort of been the holy grail for us.
Yeah, nice.
But in saying that, the properties that do adjoin these three properties that we've got, there's a couple of people there, a couple of neighbours that, they're sort of more anti-hunting, I guess, and, love seeing all the wildlife, and, if they can throw some feed out for the deer, they probably would, and all that sort of stuff. So
Bambies are so cute.
They are. Yeah, they taste delicious as well. But even the property owner said, though, that make sure that I've sent him a message saying, is it all right to come down on the weekend or something like that? And he's like, oh no, next door's got some people staying there in some tents or something like that, so it might be a best option. He doesn't want to ruin it for us, but he doesn't want to cause any dramas because he's got to live down there as well. So we've got to just watch our just be careful down there, basically.
You could go Wolf Creek on them and they'd never come back after that.
We could, yeah.
I'm sure you guys know some people, don't you?
Yeah. We're probably capable of doing it ourselves if we really wanted to.
No, that's it, and it's a similar thing around here too. There are blocks here with pigs and deer on them, but when it's only 100 acres or so, or even 300 acres, and they pass through the place, or they don't hang around for long or whatever. But there's also the block that I can go to, the area that they move through, and potentially hang around in, is only within, depending on where they are, I suppose you could say at most 100 to 150 meters of the neighbor's fence. And you sort of think, like I'd happily go around and, drive down the road, go up the driveway and say, hey, look, a deer's run into your block and can I come and get it?
Mm.
But at the same time, you just, if you haven't had that conversation yet, you don't want it to be at that time. You'd rather be able to talk to them beforehand and see if it's all right. But then as well, part of, I think, what's been able to get me access there is the fact that I use a bow and not a rifle. On this block, I still sort of get the impression from the owner, and look, I haven't just outright asked him yet, because I don't sort of want to, you don't want to throw anything out there that might sort of fracture the relationship at all. And I sort of, if I ask him and he's adverse to me coming with a rifle, will that sort of, start to pull the thread on the relationship I've got. But I'll just see in future how it goes and whatever else. And I haven't been out there since before I went away last year, so I do need to go back out. But I've got that confidence in the fact that I know when to take a shot and when not to take a shot, and only doing so obviously when everything's in this situation absolutely 120% lined up, premium and perfect, so that it's all things done in the right sense to minimize the possibility of having that scenario where it does end up going next door. But as you said, sometimes shit goes pear-shaped and things happen that are outside your control.
Yeah. I mean, that happens in hunting it happens in general, whether you're shooting with a rifle or a bow. It doesn't, it's not neither one or the other, but if you can minimize it as much as you can, then that'd be good. There might be a few loud noises around, but that gives them peace of mind, the people living around it. If they, okay, well, there's another one that's hit, and no issues. But if something was to go wrong and then there's an arrow hanging out of a deer running around or a fox or something, and there is heaps of foxes down there too, which we want to have a crack at, then, just try and do our bit. That's all.
Yeah, 100%. So the goal's to get Warren out. See if you can. So for people who didn't pick up our last episode, Warren is Scotty's dad, and Warren, how old's he now?
He's 72, I think.
72, and he's had a bit of a hard run, broken his leg a few times, and if anybody wants to look up a mammoth episode that the boys put up on their YouTube channel, you'll see the episode where they were out with Warren, and he sort of tripped and got stuck over a log and clean sheared his tibia. And she was pretty horrific experience to go through, especially in the scrub, and it was thick, nasty scrub. But he had his op, and he's got more titanium, and he's better from that.
No, the leg's all good. He's he's still got a bit of a limp, but he's good all with that. But he's just in middle of November. He had major spinal surgery. He had 3 vertebrae of his lumbar area fused together. So that knocked him out of action for a long, long time. He's only just started to, now sort of been able to walk back and forward. Down to the shed without crutches, or he still has his crutches just as a bit of assistance, but just smashing out physio hardcore. And it's a long struggle for him, I think. So getting him out onto this property is a sort of a good starting point, I guess, because it's pretty flat for the most of it, reasonably open, so there's less chance of him sort of going ass up and having to, crawl over logs and, push his way through all thick sort of scrub and that.
Break his leg again.
But, that's it. Yeah, we want to try and avoid that. But, no, he's already said, I think he's already given Mum the hard word, like, no, start or end of March, I'm going to be down there. I'm going to make sure I'm get down there. I was like, well, you just got to, take your time. Don't push it or anything. No, bugger that. I'm going to be down there. I'm going to make sure I'm down there. So we'll wait and see. So hopefully that's the plan anyway.
Oh, that sounds good, mate.
Yeah.
Have you got to go, Jamie?
Got to go do the pickup.
That's all
right. We could have an intermission for 15, 20 minutes.
Well, I reckon it
shouldn't be that long.
While Jamie's gone, we can talk about hunting red deer.
We can, yes. That'd be,
He won't get upset.
Salt in the wound.
He won't drop his bottom lip then.
I won't know about it. I won't know about it.
Yeah, what he doesn't know won't hurt him.
We won't send you selfies every day, every 5 minutes while we're there, mate.
I know. Oh, don't worry. I'll want that anyways. It's all good.
Sounds good, boys. All right. Well, if you
Yeah.
have to duck off and do the dad thing, Jamie, that's all good, man. Or
Yep,
let us
yep.
know when you got to go, or go now, or whatever you're going to do, man.
I'll head off now and I'll be right back.
Happy days, man. Don't rush.
No worries.
Catch you soon, bro. Well, we're going to interrupt today's episode to bring you a little word from our sponsor, something new for the podcast. As you guys all know, or people who've listened to the chat before or heard me discuss it on other podcasts, I own Brackenwear along with two of my best mates. So naturally, Brackenwear, in a sense, sponsors the podcast. So what is Brackenwear? Well, at Brackenwear, we have a mission statement. Our mission statement says, our mission is to optimize your performance by outfitting you with premium technical outdoor and hunting apparel. We have deliberately hand-chosen advanced technical fabrics based on durability, weight, and quietness. Our pattern has been inspired by nature's camouflage experts and custom designed with every component and feature rigorously tested in the field by experienced hunters to ensure precise fit, comfort, durability, and performance that you demand from premium technical gear. Research, design, and development has been ongoing since 2012, and today's Brackenwear reflects our commitment to giving you nothing but the best. Brackenwear is premium technical gear designed, used, and trusted by experienced hunters the world over. You can find Brackenwear at www.brackenwear.com and look us up on all the socials and get in touch. Cheers, guys. So, if you might have picked up there, Scotty and I have thanks to Scott, we've booked in a week on the Reds for the end of March, and just a few hours down the road, really. I think what I work it out was 2.5, 3 hours from my place.
It's about 2.5 from 3 from your joint. Only 20 hours from my place, I think. Yeah, like about 20 or 21 hours or something like that.
Not too far at all, mate. Not too far at all.
No.
A lot
Well,
closer.
look, I weighed it up, to be honest. I was weighing up whether to drive or to fly up and that. Obviously, I mean, you can check your bow into the airline and all that sort of stuff, but I'm just thinking, in best case scenario, if we did get something, you want to bring the meat home.
Yep.
Packing 20 kilo esky full of meat into the, onto the plane and extra stuff like that. If I want to take the rifle up as well, because we've got the option with bow, obviously, as well as rifle.
Yep.
Just more dicking around, to be honest. So I thought, no, screw it. And it was only pretty much another $200 or $300 difference in comparison. I sort of did the comparison driving roughly with fuel costs and and the flight. So it just makes it easier. You don't have to worry about, I've got this red deer head, how do I check that into the plane sort of thing and get all these weird looks, or people say, no, we don't take hunting trophies anymore, because I know some airlines do that as well.
Yeah. No, and even look at 20 kilos. That's not much meat, really, if you drop a decent animal.
It's not a decent sized red deer. Yeah, you're going to get a lot more than that on it. So, I just thought, no, take the car, chuck a couple of eskies in, have the car fridge, and then doesn't matter. I can have my rifle, I can have my bow, and plenty of room for everything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we get something.
That's right. And
I know.
Yeah, I had to do a trip down to Brizzy there a few weeks back, and it was only a few days before I was like, oh shit, because as you know, and I think I've mentioned it on I can't remember which podcast. I don't think it was this one. One of the other ones, one of someone's podcast I was a guest on. I talked about the bow that I the old Brackenhoid, I call it, that I got. It's a Factor 30 Bracken, Hoyt, which is 2014 model, I believe, that I got, and pulled it all down, stripped it all down, and basically gave it a complete overhaul. Got the riser all hydro dipped in Brackenwear pattern. Got the all the other bits and pieces, the limb cups and the cams and that all Cerakoted and whatever else. Anyway, so got new strings.
Come up a treat.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I'm super happy with it. Got some big fella bowstrings on it, and actually used one of Warren's Osbow presses to do all that and to put it all back together as best I can. And I'm just not someone who's ever really learnt how to tune a bow properly. It's just not been something on my radar with regards to the pastime. Anyway, I took this trip down to Brizzy, and like a night or two before, I was like, oh, I wonder if I could drop my bow into Ian Summers and get him to work his magic over it. So, yeah, I hit him up on Facebook there, sent him a message, and I said, oh, look, I know it's last minute and everything, but are you able to fit it in, and I can drop it off the one day, pick it up the next or whatever, and if it's possible, that'd be fantastic, And he said, yeah, absolutely. He had a couple other bows to sort of fit in around it. And, he got that done. And it was a Tuesday, and I went back on the Wednesday, picked it up, and put some arrows down range at the back of his house there. And, mate, it's magic. It's just...
Yeah, nice.
Tune, mate. It could play Kumbaya and you'd fall asleep. It's that well tuned. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. And out in the backyard and shooting a few arrows and getting it all dialed in and going well. So,
yeah, perfect.
Can't wait. But yeah, as you mentioned too before, I'll be taking the rifle down or rifles down, just to see how we go there too, and I sort of think,
I think I'd certainly prefer the bow.
Yeah, oh mate, I'll be pushing hard with that bow, and pretty much
99% bow, but
yeah,
as you say, last minute.
If it's the last,
if your last afternoon you haven't got anything,
exactly.
Yeah, grab the rifle out,
and hopefully at least come home with some meat or a trophy, a nice stag or whatever, irrespective of how it's dropped. Yeah, it'll be really good. So how did you come across the outfitter, mate?
It's through Iron Bark Outfitters.
Yep.
Tyler Chubb is the owner of that. I hunted with Tyler. Several years ago, actually, I hunted with Mick Baker from Trophy Bow Hunts Australia.
Yep.
Dad and I did a pig hunt up Cape. No, actually, sorry. No, it was a buffalo hunt. We'd organised a buffalo hunt.
Yeah, wow.
And Mick had used Tyler. Tyler's Canadian, so he's hunted all over the world. And he goes back to Canada every year to do sort of the season over there for moose and caribou and so forth as well. So Mick had known Tyler as a guide because he used to come out here and do some work in the off season for various outfitters. Tyler was one of his guides when Dad and I went up there.
Yeah, nice.
So I went with Tyler. Dad went off with Mick. We sort of just become mates through that. And then I ended up hunting with him over in Canada, for moose and caribou in Newfoundland. There's also a video on our YouTube channel for people that want to check that out as well. And then after that, I knew that he was back here because he's got his Australian citizenship now. So he's married a girl over here. They've had a couple of kids, and I think he lives up in Brizzy somewhere.
Yep.
Up that way. So he's doing obviously the family thing as well as trying to obviously incorporate as much hunting as he can over here. And the previous year he sent me a message saying, oh, look, I've got this guy that's dicking me around a little bit. I don't know whether he's going to come through with the goods or not, but if you're interested, I can offer you this, this discounted sort of hunt. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like straight away onto Google, airfares and, how much is it going to cost me to jump up? Because literally there was like a week's notice. It was like crazy. I was like, oh shit, I got to check with work and see if I can get time off or whatever.
Yep.
And I was able to, I would have pulled the pin, but this guy ended up coming through with the goods and ended up doing the hunt with him.
Oh yeah.
Which was fine. So, and then, he sent me a message. It was a while, it might have been 2 years ago now. But sent me a message, last year saying, oh, look, if you can get another guy to come up with you, then I can, do this sort of package deal for you.
Yep.
For the 5 days on the reds. And red deer's always been one of my, bucket list sort of animals, I suppose, in that sense. I've never hunted them really.
Yep.
So, then obviously I contacted, Jamie was the first sort of port of call, but as much as he would love to, it's not, viable for him to do it at the moment with family and that sort of stuff. So then I thought, oh, maybe you'd be interested. And then, it just went from there.
Well, as it turns out, sorry, mate.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, Tyler he's just a great guy. He knows his animals. He knows his hunting. Predominantly, most of his hunting is bow hunting as well.
Oh yeah, nice.
He's a bow hunter himself. He hunts with the rifle as well, but he is a bow hunter himself. So he knows, getting in close and doing all this and that. But he's just a ripping guy. He's a really good bloke. So anybody out there that wants, buffalo, pigs, or whatever, red deer, definitely look up Ironbark Outfitters.
I was going to say, actually, I looked him up on the socials the other day and made sure I followed all his pages. Mate, he's got some great stuff up there. It looks like he gets about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, it wasn't that long ago. I think it was last year. They because he took over the buffalo side of things, I think, from Mick Baker.
Yeah, right.
He's sort of running that operation now. But I think it was only last year or maybe the year before that they shot the ABA Australian record buffalo on the property that he has access to.
Wow.
So yeah, he gets onto some good game.
Mm.
Yeah, he really knows his stuff.
Which part of Canada is he from?
He's from. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's in. I think it's in British Columbia. I know where it is. I think it's in BC, but it's
Yep.
Oh, shit, it's up the top middle part. I can't even remember now. I can't remember.
Google it quick.
I know there was. I know he offered. There was moose hunts sort of not far from up that area. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. Yeah. Where it was. Put me on the spot. So yeah, can't remember.
And look, we're going to spend a week with him, so I'm sure I'll find out. But how long's he been in the country?
Yeah. Over here.
Yeah.
It'd be several years now. I think he's. They've got a place. Over here up in Brisbane or somewhere like that. So Brisbane. He would have been over here as a permanent resident probably for 2 years now, 3 years maybe.
Yeah, nice.
2.5 years. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But
cool.
no, we're gonna have a really good time, I think.
Yeah, I can't wait. I was just about to say before. Long story, funny story, and somewhat little bit of a, as far as dates concerned and other goings on, stories concerned, a little bit of a pain in the ass. But I was originally not due for holidays until late April, but they actually have been brought forward a month. And with my job, we get locked into a holiday block, there's not really much flexibility around that. You can you might be able to swap with the person either side of you, like before you or after you. But because, we're as a station, that, you run with, you have to have, specific crew numbers to be able to do what you do. You can't just, sort of flip in and out willy-nilly and, be covered, because that's just not how our roles work at certain jobs. So you have to have certain numbers for safety aspects and to be able to execute some of the stuff we do. So you get across the station, there's 7 holiday blocks and 6 guys on shift and usually 1 on holidays at any one time. So you just sort of roll through, and the way the holiday blocks roll out, they advance a little bit each time you take one. So, mine, for example, coming up, my next holiday block coming up was going to be mid-April and through to May for a month. And then next year it'll be a little bit later. I can't remember the exact, so say it's another 3 weeks later or something like that, but the way it rolls around is a bit later.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so I was originally trying to swap to the earlier block with the guy who's on before me or goes off before me, but he's got kids of his own, and it's across April, Easter, and the school holidays and stuff. And I just said, if there's any chance, I've got this thing on that I kind of really need to go to, and is it possible for us to do a swap? And he's all like, I said, look, all good, mate, if you can't, because you've got kids and it's school holidays, and we all know how precious family time is. And he said, "Oh, look, looks like we've booked in some holidays in Bali, so unfortunately, won't be able to do it." And I was like, "Nah, it's all good, man. I'll sort of work something else out." Anywho, he comes to me the other day and he says, "Turns out my wife booked the wrong date, and can I do a swap with you now?"
And you're like, winning.
Well, yes and no, because it kind of puts me in the poo with the other situation, because I ended up not being really able to go because of it. But now I'm sort of, and the red deer thing falls right at the start. So it's extremely inconvenient on one hand and convenient on the other hand.
Yeah.
So instead of having to organise days off work and do shift swaps with guys and that sort of thing, it's like, oh, cool, I'll be on holidays anyway. So happy days. Couldn't have lined it up better, mate.
No, I'm glad that it worked out, to be honest, because I wasn't too sure. I was like, and my wife kept saying like, oh, is Luke able to do it? I was like, look, I don't think. I think his date's not going to sort of correspond, so it might be a bit touch and go. She's like, oh, are you still able to do it just by yourself? I was like, well, I'm not sure. I haven't crossed that bridge yet, but
yeah,
let's just have our fingers crossed that Luke's able to do it, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, it's awesome that you're able to do it. So
that'd be awesome, man. It'll be actually the first time we've hunted together, eh?
It will be, yeah.
After all these years.
Yeah.
What happens when you live down south and instead of God's country up here?
Yeah, we're just down the arse end of the world down here.
That's it. Oh well, you can't help bad luck, I suppose.
No, that's it. I keep saying to you, you're always welcome to come out for a sambar hunt or something.
Well, funnily enough, I haven't really looked at everything, but the situation might be that while I'm on holidays, my wife and children won't be here for various reasons. So I'm either going to get really, really obligated to do things at home that I have to tend to, like, just work and stuff around the place, and not have people under my feet, or other things to consider, and have to get stuck into that, and or I look at cheap flights and end up in Melbourne. And we work out what we can do around your shifts. So I don't know yet.
Well, that's always a possibility as well.
Yeah, I don't know yet. Have to really look at it. But so we've got
this red diff. Yeah.
So we've got Bonza Airline that flies direct from here to Melbourne, of all places. And last week they were doing 50% sale, and I was like, oh.
That's crazy. I think they fly into Avalon as well. They don't fly into Tullamarine. I'm pretty sure we saw one in Avalon.
Oh, yeah.
Which is only it's pretty much across the road from where Jamie lives.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So put it this way, if this red deer hunt had fallen through, I was going to hit you up and say, what are you doing September, October-ish? And then, do organise a sambar deer in place of, or sambar deer hunt, in place of the red deer hunt. But obviously this has gone ahead, so...
Well, funnily enough, actually, I could look it up on my phone, mate. The way my holidays work, I might have holidays then too as well.
Okay. Well, that could be on the agenda, possibly.
People listening at home are like, what the hell does this bloke ever at work? 12th of September to the 2nd of October is my next holiday block. So there you go, 12th of September.
So when was that?
12th of
September.
So actually 4 days before that is when I can actually start holidays. So that's the 8th of September.
Okay, so
through the 2nd of October.
So you got that whole month pretty much?
28 days.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
Nice. So what's your plans travelling up? What do you think you're going to do as far as, have you looked at your stops and where you're going to pull up? Maybe we could line you up to drop in and see Baz at Inverell there somewhere or something like that.
I've already actually pre-planned a little bit, especially on the way up anyway. So pre-planned, I'll go drive halfway, about 10 hours from here, so stop at Dubbo. Just got a cheap hotel sort of there, just nice and convenient.
Yep.
And then from there go to Gympie. And then from Gympie, I think it's only like 25 minutes or something like that down the road where we're meant to meet Tyler, the following morning to start hunting.
Yep.
At wherever the property is. I don't know how far the property is out from there, but that's where he suggested, and we get there at first light. So that's sort of how I'd sort of broken it up already. And then on the return home, I haven't sort of organised anything on the return yet, but sort of plan to try and do it just to get back here in 2 days type of thing.
Do the reverse
if I can.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But yeah, apart from that, I haven't really organised much at all, to be honest.
Yep.
Just sort of going to wing it.
Yep.
It'd be good just to have a bit of a road trip.
Yeah, for
Been
sure.
Getting out practicing more with the bow, so.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it'll be I don't know. I've got obviously those pictures that I sent through to you with some of the deer that Tyler's seen up there and some of his previous hunters and everything like that. And yeah, as I've said to you as well, man, I'll be just that excited just seeing something like that in the bush, let alone having a chance to have a crack at it.
Yeah, definitely.
So it'll be bloody good.
Oh, it's
really good.
It's God's country for red deer through there.
Yeah.
No, and
yeah, for sure, 100%.
And I think, did you tell me in a message that we'll be the first people on the block for the year?
Yes, yeah. So there won't be any hunting pressure before us at all. So that's got to be a win, I think.
That is.
Everything will be nicely settled down, and hopefully we just walk in and day 2 we both bag 6x6 stags and happy days.
Whatever, just kick back and enjoy a holiday. Probably take a 2-hour road trip up to my place and just kick back here for a while. Whatever you want to do,
Yeah, well, we could do that. Yeah, could do that.
Knock off a couple of hinds as well, a bit extra meat,
Well, that's what I'm thinking, to be honest, as well. Yeah, if we are lucky enough to bag a stag or something like that, I'm happy to go out and try and go for a hind just for meat animal.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely.
The more meat, the better.
Yeah, 100%. No, mate.
Apart from that, I haven't really thought too much about it.
And what's your setup going to be? What arrows and that are you shooting?
I'm shooting the Widowmaker Smash, the 250 spine.
Yep.
Arrows. I was shooting the gold tip big game 100s for a long, long time, and I think they're about a 280 spine arrow. And they don't make them anymore. You can still get them randomly, but they don't make them anymore. So I went to mix arrows at the Widowmaker Smash. I think the arrow weight all up is about 580 grain.
It's up there.
570, 580 grain. Yeah. I'm using the 4-vein easy veins on the back as well, which we've used them for the last, 12 months or a couple of years sort of thing, and friggin' awesome. And then up the front, I've got the 100 grain, I think he calls them a triple shock, like a solid 3-blade, solid 3-blade head.
Yep.
That, Mick does through Trophy Bow Hunters as well.
And, like what you've got,
sorry. Yeah.
I was going to say you'd be pulling them at least through 30 inches of draw, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think my draw is about 31 and a half, almost 32.
Rightio, settle down.
So yeah, it's pretty much a full length shaft. Yeah,
a full length
pretty
shaft.
Much a full length
no
shaft.
bragging there, eh?
I got it's a PSE PSE Decree HD. It's an older bow. It's probably like 10 years old or something now, but it's set at 70 pound. It's a good, comfortable bow. I've had it for obviously a long time now, but it's taken a lot of game, and it's just a good, reliable bow. I've got the side quiver on it at the moment, the bow quiver, but I literally only just last night I picked up a quiverizer for $100.
Wow, nice.
Which normally well, that's what we said. That's what I said when I saw the message. I was like,
brand new, aren't they? They're not cheap.
No, they're even pushing over 200 and 250, or Jesus. I don't know. They're starting to get up there a fair bit, but yeah, this guy had modified it a little bit just to shorten it for himself. But I was like, for $100, I can't really go wrong. So whether I have the quiverizer set up, because it's always something that I've wanted to try. I know a lot of people out there are using them. A lot of people don't like them for various reasons, because it obviously just throws out the dynamic of your bow, with that weight forward, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just a little bit to get used to even getting your arrow out of the quiver. You sort of got to reach forward, around, and then rather than off the side, which we're all sort of been used to if we use a bow quiver.
Yep.
But I thought for $100 can't really go wrong. So I should get that in the next couple of days. So whether I have a chance to set that up before we go up there, or sort of just put it aside and just practice with what I've got. And I got the Garmin Zero on there as well, which I haven't actually shot anything game-wise with the Garmin Zero yet, so I haven't blooded it in.
Yep.
So I'm hanging out to do that as well.
Yep.
Jamie's shooting. Apart from that, I'm pretty happy with.
Jamie's shooting.
What's that? Sorry.
Said Jamie's shooting the Zero as well now, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully, those other little goodies I've got in the pipeline turn up before then too.
That would be a nice little bonus.
It would be
well.
if they get here in time. I think I got a message through. It might have been this morning actually. I'll just double check that. Just whip onto social media, and how good's the internet, eh? Everything at your fingertips.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go. Yep. It looks like it's happening. So
So
looking
they are en route.
well in the pipeline, let's put it that way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so
We're not allowed to talk about that just yet, though,
no, we
obviously.
won't talk about that just yet.
Yeah, okay. Some secret squirrel business, people.
That's it. You always got to do something under the cover of darkness. Otherwise, life's boring.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. Yeah, there you go. I just looked it up. Option archery equalizer, $322 at Apex Hunting.
Are you kidding me? $320.
eBay's $330. There's a few for sale, but yeah, they're a bit over $300.
Bloody Nora!
So it's crazy. I know Jamie bought one a while ago, and he's sort of just started to get the hang of it, and he loves his setup now.
Yep.
But yeah, we might even do some swapsies when I get this one because it is a little bit shorter in the rod.
Yep.
Jamie's rod is a little bit shorter, so
That's what she said.
he prefers a shorter rod. We can talk about him like that now because he's not here.
He's not here, and he won't hear this until it's online anyway. So
Yeah, that's it, exactly. It's like, what did you talk about? Oh, not just nothing. No, nothing.
nothing.
We just,
Didn't talk about your shaft length at all, mate.
Yeah, no, that's it. So yeah, there might be a bit of swapping with the shafts. Yeah, so I get the longer one and he gets the shorter one, but yeah, he loves it. He's sort of got used to it now, just as I said, that different dynamic with the weight sort of being a little bit more forward and so forth.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good setup. So I was like, yeah, shit, couldn't pass it up at $100.
Yeah, a lot of people. It seems to be that you absolutely love them and you're a diehard fan, or it's not for you. Not at all. I'm not interested. I'm going back to a traditional bow quiver, or not a bow quiver at all. You know, like a hip or a back quiver that you see as well, in the more traditional sense. But yeah, I think it's I don't know. It's an interesting one because that cost is pretty prohibitive to have a go at something and turns out you absolutely hate it. Like that's it's not just $50 or even $150. It's pretty significant.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, you can sort of understand their cost because obviously it's, as they've advertised it, sort of thing. You're combining a bow quiver as well as a stabilizer, and like just a half decent stabilizer, you're probably paying $150 or something for maybe.
Yeah.
Same with a quiver. You're probably paying $120 to $200 depending on what sort of quiver you get, I guess.
No, I'll be honest. I haven't.
So it sort of works out.
I haven't bought a boat quiver in probably 15 years.
Oh, really?
No, I've got an Alpine quiver, and I haven't. Admittedly, I haven't done a lot of looking about because I'm very happy with the one I've got. But
yeah,
even looking at other people's bows and then on social media, I haven't seen any that are similar. It's the quiver basically has a like a plate that you attach onto the bow, and it's got like rubber grippers, and the two shafts of the actual bow quiver with the hood and then the arrow grippers. You sort of slide in one way and then lock it in as you click it into place, and it holds it there.
Ah, yeah, okay. Yep.
And like it's quick on, quick off, that sort of thing. And it's rubber, so it absorbs the vibration, blah, blah, blah. And I've actually got two. I don't even remember buying two, but I've got two. And when it comes to, taking things on and off in and out of the bow bag or whatever, it's just so quick and so easy. And you can move it up and down. Like, so for example, at the moment, the Factor 30 is obviously 30 inches axle to axle. And my super impressive shaft length at 26.5 inches. And then you add on the hood for the don't go there, Scott. The hood for the bow quiver, and it basically sits just snug inside the top and the bottom of each cam of that bow.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And that's for someone like me that can do that because the arrows are that short, and I'm shooting a short ATA bow. It's it just matches up really well. So I sort of look at it and I go,
that's perfect.
Why would I bother changing it? There's no point. But I mean, I also had the hood of that cover hydro dipped as well. So I, as people have heard in other places, I like things that matchy. So it all looks great and it works great, and it has worked great. And what I can see happening in time is that rubber will probably perish and break down. But so far it doesn't get left in the bacon hot sun. I don't leave it in the car or anything like that, which obviously those sort of elements affect rubber more rapidly and will make it deteriorate more quickly. But so far it's not really showing signs of wearing out or anything. So it's
Perfect. That's ideal. That's what you want.
and yeah, like I think it's only a 5 arrow quiver. It could be 6, but I think it's 5 off the top of my head. And I've not really ever seen any other people using them, and I can't even remember where I got it, who I got it from, or like I said, I can't even remember buying 2, but I've got 2. So, and the thing is too, you can adjust the plate and where you actually how you screw the plate on. So it's got multiple holes in it, so you can have it straight up and down vertical, or you can have it like on an angle a bit. So
Oh yeah, slightly offset. Yeah.
offset. So if like yourself and you like to brag about having a 64-inch shaft, then you can cant it so that it's not just vertical, and then obviously it makes that up and down length that bit shorter, so you can sort of get it sort of not as obtrusive on the bow, but the downside is it does hang out a little bit, like you've got your tight spots in that, which obviously hug very tight to the riser to try and offset that lever action cant that they can induce. But I think it's the same sort of thing. When you're used to it, It doesn't matter.
Well, and that's it, exactly right. You see people still using real old school stuff, and it doesn't matter if it sits out 6 inches from the side of your riser or something like that. If you're comfortable shooting with that and you're used to shooting that, then why not? Just stick with what you know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably shoot. Probably line up some slick tricks or something. Or I do very much like I got a sneak peek before they went to broader social media of the Kyoga 3-blade heads that Ian had in his little stock there when I was down there the other week, and
the new 3-blade ones, are they?
Yeah, they look. I mean, all the Kyoga heads are amazing, but I do like, as I'm very well aware of the difference in presentation, penetration, force requirements, and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, I haven't had any issue on any animal shooting a 3-blade broadhead, and that was
same.
That was before I got this bow, and I'm pulling 80 pounds now. So I like the fact that those heads they've got look very solid and very effective, and they're Australian made. So I'm sort of looking at the budget.
So that's what you're going to be using on the reds?
Well, possibly, mate. I've got slick tricks there that I was probably going to default to.
They're an awesome broadhead.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And the ones I've had there,
same
thing. I've had them in my kit for years now, and just been working my way through them slowly as I've been knocking things off and whatever else, and mixing it up with a few other heads here and there too. But I use a 100 grain head up front like yourself, and I might pick up a packet. 2 or 3. see how the Kyogas go. But yeah, mate, looking forward to it, and just the time in the scrub, it'll be fantastic.
Well, that's it. I haven't been away for a little while, apart from just a little odd trip down on a Saturday morning, or down just local chasing fallow or something like that. It's still out in the bush, but I was even talking to the missus about it the other day. She's like, it changes you when you come back from spending a week out in the bush or something like that. You're just a different person, I guess, because it's just, I don't know, you just become one with nature, I suppose, and that's all you're focused on.
Yeah.
When you're out there hunting and doing that thing, that is your main focus. You're not thinking about, oh shit, I got to pay the rates tomorrow, or the water bill's due, or oh shit, I got to fix that leak on the car or something like that. There's nothing else that you're thinking about. I mean, you're thinking about other life stuff, but you know what I mean? Like, you're just focused on being there for that reason.
Yeah.
And you just immerse yourself in that environment. And you just come back refreshed. And I mean, for me, that's sort of my Zen place, I suppose. If I can do that, once a year or twice a year or something like that, it's just, it's magic. It's just a full, reset, I suppose, for yourself, for your body and mind.
Yeah. I definitely find that. I also find it's, you can't, I don't think you get any more of a clearer definition of having to be present in that moment.
Yes.
Because if you're not, shit just won't work for you. You have to pay attention to where you're going, what you're doing, what's happening around you, immediate vicinity, even what's further away, like all of that is everything that's absolutely present there and then.
Yeah.
And you have to dial into that to be able to be effective and not just be lucky, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You become in tune with the environment that you're in. Basically, all your senses are heightened, and
Yeah, and that's, I think,
it's
where
hard to explain for the non-hunter.
100%.
Mhm.
And your brain changes from, you know, I think being busy with life,
Mhm.
as I think, you know, most people's brains are busy with life day to day without
Oh,
question,
100%.
to being busy with now, and, you know,
Yes.
not worrying about this afternoon or whatever. It's just like, well, what's now, and where's my next step going, and where's the breeze going,
Yeah.
and why is that bird making a funny noise, and, you know, oh, did I see
Yes.
something under that tree over there, and, you know, oh, I think there might be
Mhm.
pigs in this gully. Oh, look, there's some scat, you know, blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
working on
Yeah.
all that, which is ultimately the absolute definition of the here and the now. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
is that Jamie back?
No, 100%. It looks like it, so we better stop talking about him.
We're
Here,
talking-
oh shit, he's here. He's here.
We'll
He's
stop
back.
stop talking about his
Back.
shaft length.
Yeah.
Jealous. You're jealous.
Not from what I've heard from Scott. He tells me his is longer than yours, mate.
That's not hard. Don't worry.
That's all good.
So what did I miss?
Oh, we've already
You'll have to
shot
just
7
wait
by
for it
7.
to
So we've already shot 7 by 7 bed red stags. We've shot does for meat, and, you know, now we're just
Yep.
kicking back, drinking beers and rum. That's it. You know, we're all done.
Well, that's always the way, isn't it? You probably already talked about booking the taxidermy, person.
We forgot that.
You've already hung it on the wall before you've got it.
we did forget that, didn't we?
Did you know any good ones, Jamie?
No.
Up around Bundy Way,
wish.
preferably, mate.
That's it.
I
We've
think
got a good one down here.
Yeah, I think Tyler actually said there's a bloke down the road. I'm not going to say a name just in case I get it wrong, but there's a guy not far down the road from sort of where we hunt that is very good as well. So if you did want to get something done, I'm sure you could drop it in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised in the area, mate. There's probably a few actually that would be very, very handy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history in red deer in that country, so I'm pretty sure there's been taxidermy going on for as long as there's been red deer there. Yeah, but rest assured, the missus will be disappointed when I don't come home with a big stag because I dropped it off at the taxidermist on the way home. But you know, such is life.
That's all part of it. Yeah, that's it. Exactly right. It's a problem that you can deal with.
So, what are you going to do when Scotty's up here, Jamie? Going to go and shoot some more fallow?
Yeah, that's the plan. I want to do an overnighter if I can, just to do a bit of a recce before the rut in some other places that we go, which I'm not going to disclose on air.
No.
But we haven't been there for a while, so we've been meaning to get back out and check that out as well. So that's my plan, to go and do something like that.
Yep. And like we talked a bit about our gear just now. What do you shoot bow wise?
A PSE Bow Madness Epics, and it's got a Garmin Zero, and just put an equalizer on it.
Yeah, we heard. Well. We heard.
So, so you were talking about me.
Yeah. just your shaft length, and when you slip it into
that's the shaft length you were talking about.
Yeah, what you slip it into, mate. That's all.
So got equalizer on it, and just on the arrows that I'm shooting are the Widowmaker 300 spines, Slick Trick Magnum 100 grain is the broadheads, which I've been using for a while now, and I'm trying to think. Easy Veins, of course, been using them for a while now, and I'd recommend anybody listening, if you're thinking about going down that path, definitely do it. You won't regret it. What else? What other setup I've got on it? Custom string. It's a killer bowstring.
Yeah, righto.
As well, and that's pretty much it. Yep. I used him in the last couple strings that I've got, and it's just works good. He does everything that you want as well.
Yep. No, I was saying to Scott, I just a few weeks ago dropped my bow in at Ian Summers. I had an overnight trip to Brizzy and dropped it in there to get all tuned up, and
have him work his magic on it. And mate, she's what did I say? Can sing you. He can play your Kumbaya. It's tuned that well.
Kumbaya. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, it's beautiful, mate. Yeah, he's a magician.
Well, yours is like 80 pound or something, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what the big fella's pull, mate.
Well, you got to compensate for other things, I guess.
Well, I had to wind mine down to 90.
Yeah, righto, Cam. Settle down.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, no, I see. I had there's a bit of a story behind that because I wanted to do a bow and redo it. Like I mentioned before, how I stripped it all down, and you know what I've done with it, and hydro dip and everything, and I was shooting a Bowtech CPXL and pulling 70, and I've pulled 70 for as long as I can remember now.
Sorry, we won't hold that against you.
No. But like, it's a beautiful boat to shoot, really, really nice.
Yeah.
And smooth and quiet and all that sort of stuff. And the ATA length was really nice and it was forgiving and everything. But being a short ass and only having, a 26-inch draw, I was noticing when I was out on the range, it was just, I was just getting a lot of drop over the longer shots. And, it'd make a significant difference, that 40 to 50 meters and out to 55 and stuff on the range.
Yep.
And I thought, I can pull 80 comfortably. And if I'm going to do this with another bow, then I'm going to strip it down. I might just, the intention was always to buy a second-hand bow, not a brand new bow, and pay a fortune and then remake the whole thing over again anyway.
Yeah, build it the way you want. Yep.
Yeah, so I just sort of kept my eye out for an 80-pound bow. And I've owned a few Hoyts in the past and whatever else. And, I sort of happened to come across this one and, fit the bill at 80 pounds. Probably shorter in ATA than I'd really like because 30 is pretty bloody short. But it is what it is. And and I did it all, stripped it all down, got it all sorted. And then the first arrow I put back through it, I don't think Ian said it was horribly out of tune, but obviously it wasn't, tuned to the extent that a magician like he could do. And, I've killed stuff with it before. I took it down to him the other week. It was shooting where I wanted it to go, and the arrows ended up in the right area, obviously. But the first arrow I put through it, I was just like, wow, this is actually a bloody nice bow, and I'm really happy with it. So, it's good to know I've got that little bit more punch behind me, and to literally actually make up for the fact that that power stroke on the draw is shorter. So
okay. What you said, 26-inch.
Yep.
Is that where your arrows? Or is that your draw length?
That's my draw length.
Far out, man. That's like, I think my daughter's draw length is longer than that.
You want to get invited back on one of these podcasts again? You got to be.
Yeah, but Mumbo's
no. I think last time we gave him crap about that it was just the other half of the podcast that everyone missed, so I had to redo it.
That's true.
Jamie gave me crap, so I muted him.
That's really what happened. You say that short axle to axle, the bow I had before this one was a Bow Madness XS, and it was 28 ATA.
Yeah, that's extreme.
And, very, very twitchy, sort of, it's not very forgiving. It's just less forgiving. And I noticed that shooting out anything past 40 meters, you know what I mean? That was just really
blow it out.
Struggling. It's just not really designed for those long distance shots.
No,
unless you practice all the time, but it just struggled. 40 meters was kind of its max. And then, if you weren't bang on with your, keeping everything level and straight and in line on perfect 100% every time, you would just see you're off a little bit, and 1 inch down here is 5 inches down the other end. So
yeah. I mean, my brain always goes to, I guess you'd say my limited understanding, but my brain sort of tells me short ATA is going to affect your up and down more so than your left and right, because left and right's brace height more than anything. Whereas you're up and down, you've only got to be marginally off. And again, as you said, and then more emphasized, if I was only pulling 70 with a shorter ATA bow, that would be worse again, because my margin of error blows out and gets even bigger. So like having a flatter, faster arrow, shorter ATA, for me, sort of, it doesn't cancel it out, but it can to some extent, I think, help compensate for that a little bit.
Yep.
It definitely helps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, flatter and faster. Hey, always good. What are you drinking there, Scotty? Is that a milkshake, mate?
It is a milkshake, yeah.
Okay.
Mrs. just come in and it's like 38 degrees or something down here today. So, we're sweating it up. So, yeah, got the missus in the kitchen make me milkshake.
Bit of
Perfect.
raw eggs and hey, going Rocky style on
Protein.
it or what?
Yeah.
Bit of vanilla, bit of sugar, you'll be right.
That's it.
Nah, it's good. We're looking forward to it, Jamie. Sorry you can't come, mate. That's a bit of a bugger.
Oh, I wish I could, maybe next time. But yeah, that'd be sounds like it'd be good fun, that's for sure. Scott hasn't stopped talking about it randomly. We'll just be sitting there in the work truck driving along, and something will just come out about, shooting these 14-point red stags.
I wasn't like that at all
I'll
last
be happy
year.
with like a 4-point red stag.
Oh shit, yeah.
We'd just be happy to see one.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
In the raw would be fantastic.
So I wasn't like that
Yes,
at all
we've
last
already-
year before I went on leave and said it was, 100 and what did it work out to be? 100 something days away from work. See you, boys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
good.
you had a ripping trip.
That was fantastic, actually. I said to you guys earlier, I went back and listened to our last podcast just to sort of catch up on where we're at and what we talked about. And I was out in the yard working, as I said, and it just rolled straight in through to the next episode, which is when I was in Colorado talking to Rog. And I was like, I wish I was back there.
I feel like that'd be awesome.
Actually, he went out the week after we shot that, and we recorded that, and he got a nice deer and got some good meat from it. So
Oh, really?
I haven't asked him actually. I forgot to ask him if he took young Ben, his son, along as well, because we were talking about that in the podcast. Yeah, it was great. He sent me the photo. I think I shared it on our socials, but went out and had a short couple of days on the elk as we talked about. But then he got the time on the deer with his deer tag, and he was able to drop one and get some meat, take it home. So that was really bloody good.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you get to hear the elk bugle when you were over there at all?
No,
Did you see elk?
No, unfortunately. Didn't sort of work out.
Bugger.
Didn't work out.
Mm.
But yeah, looking forward to talk to Rog and suss it out and whatnot over there as far as the process there is concerned. And then also when we're in Canada, one of my wife's friends from when she was growing up in Adelaide, he lives in Edmonton. He's a firefighter over there, and he came across to where we were at Canmore, which is about a 4.5 hour drive. He got up at stupid o'clock in the morning, drove across, spent the day with us, and he's a mad keen hunter as well, and he actually works in the forestry and everything there, and so he's got some contacts and some access and all those sorts of good things. So
Nice.
and he's an Aussie too. He's not a crazy Canadian. So not that I got anything against Canadians. I'm married to a partial Canadian, so I've got no choice. Yeah, so that's something that hopefully in the future I can start making some plans and go over and do. That'd be fantastic. So
Yeah. Well, while you were away, Jamie, we've already almost pre-planned a sambar hunt for September-ish.
This year?
Yeah. So you might miss out on that as well.
Where was my invitation?
we asked you. You just ignored us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I thought you were muted again.
Yeah, okay. Those gremlins.
Didn't he just duck out to go to the loo or something? Geez, he's been gone a long time, Scott.
Hey, I know. He gets the runs pretty bad.
Yeah. Especially if I'm going to go hunting. Oh, my God.
Is there a story there, Jamie?
No. Maybe. It's just it's a story for every time that I go hunting. It just seems to be a thing.
Yes.
Just don't drink coffee and first thing in the morning from Macca's.
Oh, shit. Literally.
Yeah, he gets the bubble guts, and then it's like, oh, shit, I got to pull over, and then he's hanging off the bull bar.
Oh, yeah. I grew up out in the Darling Downs at the other side of Toowoomba there, and we used to travel into a little place called Dalby pretty much every weekend for sport, be it cricket or soccer or whatever it was. But when it was cricket season, we'd travel in, we'd play our game, and then on the way home, inevitably every week, we'd pull into KFC, grab some burgers and stuff, and then hit the road. It was half an hour, 40-minute drive home, and it was just the thing to do. And when I was in high school, when I was in uni, mate that I made, friend in Brizzy at the Grange Bowman there, we used to shoot on the range a lot together and practice a lot together and everything. And we ended up going on a few hunts. And because I grew up out that way and everything, I've got a mate who has access on farms and stuff. So he's got us onto a place to go for a hunt on the Condamine River and chase a few pigs. So we've headed out there. And I think it was like a Thursday night. We're going to hunt the Friday, Saturday, and come home on the Sunday or something like that. And just staying in Dalby itself, drive out to the property each day, you know. So anyway, rolled into town. I said, we've got to go to KFC. That's just what you do, like, you know, tradition for me. If I'm here, I'm going to KFC. You know, there's no questions about it. So I went in there, yeah, got the fries and the chips and the Coke and whatever else, and a Zinger burger. It had to be a Zinger burger. So I got that, hooked into it, wolfed it all down, went round to my mate's place and, you know, caught up with and stayed there and whatever else, and went to bed. It was winter. It was freezing cold. It was pushing -6 or 7 or something crazy like that. And terrible night's sleep. Got up in the morning. I didn't feel so crash hot. Chewed on half a bowl of muesli, choked down a coffee. I'm like, I'm not feeling too good. Is it because I'm hyped up for the hunt or, you know, anything like that? What's going on? Anyway, we're driving out to this block and we went in Greg's car and we got out there. We got off the bitumen onto the dirt, driving along, and we talked about where we had to go and what road we had to look out for and signposts, you know, past the black stump and turn left, all that sort of business. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, driving along and I'm going to throw up everywhere. It's just reached that point. I said, Greg, pull over. He's like, no, it's not here. It's up there. I'm like, no, just fucking pull over. Pull over.
It's right here and now.
Oh, mate, it is. It's going to be over there and over there and over there if you don't pull up in a hurry.
Yeah.
So yeah, mate, he pulled up and I was just, it was terrible. Food poisoning and something fierce. And I think I
got you.
I think I walked for about half a click that day, and then I just pulled some sort of a blanket out of the car, threw it in the shade, and just slept for the rest of the day.
Yep.
Oh, mate, it was so bad. It was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that once when we were one of the other places on one of the public land that we used to go to, and we were both lined up on fallow deer at about, 150 meters each. Like Scott was on one and I was on one, and I was using 243, I think, back then, not the 308. Anyway,
that's right.
We were doing the whole count in 1, 2, and 3, three thing. And I said just as we sort of laid down and got into position, sort of 3 or 4 meters apart. I was like, all right, we'll count it in. And then I was like, I don't feel too good. Like I just felt weird. You know what I mean? My body started to just, shut down. It just felt strange, And then Scott was like, what, you're right? I'm like, yeah, we'll count it in, we'll have a shot, and then I'll just deal with it afterwards, But I completely missed the shot.
You were shaking as well, like your body just went,
my body just was just really strange, leading up to it. And then I was like, I missed the shot, and then, Scott nailed his one. And then I'm just like, oh man, I can't shoot it. And the other one stood there. So Scott was like, well, I better shoot it. So man, he nailed it. So, and then, I felt all right sort of afterwards. Yeah. I know, right?
He wasn't around when I did those 3. I was by myself.
Oh, that's convenient.
Usually I get the blame. I get the blame for shooting all his deer. This time something's different. But yeah, he ended up nailing that one. But I don't know, after about an hour or so, after we'd, dragged them, gutted them and all that sort of stuff, we'd sort of come good. And then carried them out. But yeah, I just at that time I must have been crooking something like that, and I just couldn't do it, So, but that's one of those times where I probably shouldn't have pulled the trigger, But I sort of felt good up to that point, and it just sort of got worse and worse from then on. So, but yeah, either way, you do as you got to do. Scott got it, and we walked away with venison.
That's it. Good. All's well that ends well, eh?
Yeah, that's it. But I don't really eat too much KFC. I think that was more of the Macca's coffee again. It's got me. Maybe I'm allergic to it. Maybe there's a pattern here.
Tell you what, tripping through Denver, we had to pull in to a place, and there was a Starbucks, and I went, oh bugger it! I've heard this and I've heard that, but I'm just going to get a coffee. Yeah, I shouldn't have. It was like drinking warm mud. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But then went up the road to we went up to the road to my place, Mandy's, up the road to my friend Mandy's place, and her dad went and got us a whole bunch of Texas barbecue style food, and oh my god, we left about 6 kilos heavier each. I think it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable food. Yes.
Nice.
One of the things we covered off on last time has just come back to me that we talked about at the end is the fact that we actually have you guys on board as Brackenware ambassadors.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Do you want us to elaborate on that?
Oh, yes and no, whatever. But, like we've had the business for just over 3 years now. And, things just keep ticking along, and we keep doing what we're doing and enjoying, being able to bring good gear to the market and, supplying good gear for Australian hunters to buy and use, obviously. And have that. We get a bit of satisfaction out of, seeing guys like yourselves using it and also giving us feedback on what you like about it. And we've got a good relationship where you guys can tell us what you don't like about it too. And that then feeds back into product development and all that sort of stuff, which is really, appreciated from our side of the stuff. Where we can't build and grow and do things if we don't hear that feedback and get that input.
And it's one of the things that we always talk about too is honest feedback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're not just, obviously we're brand ambassadors, but it's not something where we're just going to say, oh, it's fantastic, give us this discount or whatever. If it's not right, we'll tell you. You know what I mean? Because that's obviously what you guys want. And you need to, I guess, have that true feedback in the bush. We're going out just about every second weekend using this stuff all the time.
Yep.
And we like it just because it's, it works and it's just high end, good quality gear. But if something's not right, we'll soon let you know and just say, hey, we found this, and we might not have even thought about, something small like climbing over a barbed wire fence, and I'm vertically challenged. I'm not very tall, and Scott is tall, so I get hung up a lot on barbed wire fences in the crotch region. And
I just
and
go
so
under
far,
now, mate. I don't even try going over. I just like, get on the ground.
Don't worry,
Just go
I do that as well. I find the old kangaroo slots and underneath there, and get on it.
It was actually just the other day that he tore the arse out of his groin just on the barbed wire as well. But it wasn't on the Brackenware pants.
No, it wasn't. And that's
Yeah.
what I was about to say, because like I just wore some green ones out and and actually ripped it. But all the times with the Brackenware, it hasn't actually ripped. And I'm lucky the wife, is good with the sewing machine and she's been able to patch them up. But other times we were out hunting at Timberline, and I think I was with Warren walking up the back of the property, and I think this is probably one of the funnier things that he's seen, but I went to go over a barbed wire fence and I got hooked up wearing the Brackenware pants, and it didn't rip. I just hung up because it was tough, and it literally took my body weight as I was trying to lift my front leg over, but then the hook with my shoelace, on my boots, the hook that got hooked on the fence as well. So I was hooked up with one foot in the air, hung upside down with the barbed wire in my groin. And Warren's like, "What are you doing? Looking at me in the distance like you idiot." I'm like, "Oh, I can't get off. I can't get off the fence. I'm stuck." But it didn't rip, and I'm still wear those pants all the time. So
Yeah, nice.
it's yeah.
And for the record, we don't get them stuff for free either. We
No.
buy all our Brackenware stuff. They're Brackenware ambassadors, but we do pay for every single thing that we get.
Yep. And that's a big difference too. We and I think in the part where we edited Jamie, where Jamie's microphone cut off last time.
The truth.
Shh. No, that was part of the conversation I think I recall from last time, where the fact that we have the brand, but we are appreciative of people who get it, use it, like it, and then tell us, or don't like it and tell us, but at the same time they appreciate what we're doing, like you guys appreciate what we're doing, what we're trying to do, and support us in that regard, because in the current market environment, as small business, any small business in the country at all, but as small business trying to do what we're trying to do, in the environment where the money that people might otherwise have available is fast getting chewed up on ever increasing cost of living these days that we always hear about, and we all know, we all experience.
Yep.
You know, to be able to supply a product that we know, like, we know it's not cheap shit, but we know it's not cheap. That's the point. Sorry. We know it's not shit. We know it's not cheap either, because we buy it initially, you know, and we don't just buy it and go, oh, let's mark it up by 1,000% and make a freaking killing. That's not how we roll. But we know when you buy it that it's going to do what it's designed to do and do it very well. And that's what we take that confidence in. And that's like, you know, that's why we offer a 2-year warranty instead of a 1-year warranty, which is the national mandated standard. We go, well, we know our gear's better than that, so we'll double it and we'll do that. So it's that buying into the brand and the equipment and the items, the garments that we supply, that, you know, we as a small business appreciate. And we think that makes a big difference in the end with regards to being then able to work more towards improving what we've got, or bringing new stuff when we can to the market to pad that out and do it better and better from then on.
I think the camo itself, the pattern, I think it just works. It just works. I can't explain it. You know what I mean? Because I've walked in probably on more deer now wearing that than anything else, apart from a leafy suit. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a bit different because you're basically a tree, you know. But as far as camo goes, I mean, obviously you can move slow and get your scent right, you get the wind right, you can sort of walk up to deer. But we've had them, you know, and the other morning I was wearing it, you know, and where Scott, the same day that he shot the 3 of them, the other morning I walked in, and I saw the 3 bucks that we've been looking at, and it was probably 200 meters away, and I was on top of a dam mound, and they were staring straight at me, and I just didn't move, and they just, you know, kept going about their business sort of thing, and then they ended up taking off because the skippies got me. But the camo just works. It's really weird how it just tricks them, you know. And we used to wear biker gear, Ridgeline. We've, you know, Hunter's Element. There's a few different ones, even the older school ones. You know what I mean? They're DPCU, the like the, you know, ones, and they all work well. But I don't know. This one here just seems to trick them. The camo just tricks them a bit better. Again, it's obviously movement and everything based, and I've seen people hunting flannelettes, and it does the same thing as well. But this just breaks your entire outline up, you know. And I've noticed more kangaroos tend to run up to you here, because if you just don't move and you don't want to spook them, you know, you'll get a team of, you know, 5 or 6 skippies running past, and they'll literally be on your game trail running to you until 2 or 3 meters, you know, in front of you, and they can smell you, and they're like, oh, hang on, there's something there. If you just don't move, it just works. So that's one of the things we're happy to support, something that is awesome, that just works well, you know. And I think the technology behind Brackenwear, and I guess, you know, any other brand that's similar thinking to it, you know, is probably going to do well, and people should just look at what else is on the market apart from, you know, what's thrown in their face at every hunting shop.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a heck of a difference, I think. You know, when you do look at what's out there, how it's made, how it's marketed, you know, and the messages that it comes with, I suppose, you know, and that's something we try and send across, an authentic message of and be genuine about our products, and genuine about that, you know, we use them too. And people who've heard me talk on other podcasts have heard the story that we ended up buying the business because I bought some Brackenwear and I was that impressed with it. I then found out the business was for sale and went, well, hell yeah, let's buy it. So I guess it's in a similar vein to you guys, where, you know, you bought some gear to support us or to support me because I was your mate, and then you've gone, this is actually good shit, and you've wanted to buy more, and you have. And you know, we in essence did the same thing, but we just bought the whole damn shitload, you know, like we bought everything we could lay our hands on, you know. So
but I think it's good too that the few ideas that we've ended up letting you know in the past, like, oh, maybe you could try this or adjust that, you know, and you've actually done it and put it in practice, you know, and it's worked, you know what I mean? Like, just those little things, like obviously, you know, there's the blaze orange, you know, hat and stuff like that, you know, that's included You know, a lot of people from other states that have to wear high vis stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You listened
Yep.
to the audience, what they wanted, and the customers, and you've done it. You know, and hopefully, you know, that happens in the future with it. You know, you get a chance to do other things as well.
Yep. And that's definitely the plan. You know, just line those ducks up in a row and make shit happen, and keep it ticking forwards and whatever else. So,
Yep.
But no, it's a good fun exercise, to be honest. I sent out some orders the other day, and couple were repeat customers, which is always great. Sent some up to Dan Smith, and a couple of good people I know here in town through the bow club and stuff. They came around and spent the afternoon trying on this and trying on that, and you know, oh, I've got to have one of those. Oh, Betty Growl, chuck me one of those too. You know, so you know, and then
that's it. Then
we ended up. Oh, a couple of the sizes weren't quite right after they got home and tried them on properly, so I swung around the next day and, you know, to drop the right sizes off and spend another hour and a half talking shit and carrying on and whatever else. So, you know, it's a really cool process to be involved with, you know, so it's pretty good. Yes.
Well, we're happy to be on board, a part of the team for sure.
Definitely.
No, it's great to have you, boys. It's really good to have you, and we appreciate it very much. So the feedback you give us, as I said, but you know, also obviously the fact that you help get our stuff out there a bit for people to see and whatever else. And like myself, I sort of knew of it through a friend, Howie Griffin. You guys both know of Howie.
Yep.
And and that sort of word of mouth is what sort of got me interested in it in the first place. The fact that he rated it, and then, you know, I went, well, I'm in the market for something, so I might have a look at that shit. And here we are.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Scorcher top in your line of brackenwear is probably my go-to.
Yeah,
it'd be like the number one item that we would wear, apart from like the mountain ray pants and so forth as well.
Yep.
But the Scorcher top is just, I don't know, it's just I don't know, there's something about it. It's just friggin' awesome. Like you can wear it in stinking hot weather, just over it without anything underneath it. You can wear it over the top of, you know, a thin like an underlayer sort of thing, t-shirt or long sleeve sort of top or something like that if it's a bit cooler.
Yep.
It's just bloody awesome.
No, it's
lightweight enough too, and it dries quick, and
just everything about it just works really well.
One of the things that I've noticed too is if you've, you know, had a massive day hunting and, you know, you're obviously sweating it up, walking up and down hills, whatever, carrying an animal out, it doesn't smell. It doesn't hold like BO as much. You know what I mean? Like we've got other ones as, you know, other t-shirts here, you know, that are, I guess, cotton. They're going to, you know, hold smells and scents and things like that. But if you're, you know, planning to go out and keep hunting, you know, the morning you've sweated up, but you've got to hunt in the afternoon and you haven't had a chance to freshen up, swap shirts, whatever, it doesn't hold smell. You know, and that's massive, you know, when you're trying to play the wind game, especially on a deer or whatever.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the main things that I've known with it. It's just, it's real good for that.
Help you get that second chance, hopefully.
Exactly. Yep.
No, yes. One of those things. It's cool shit, I reckon. And pretty cool. Happy I stumbled across it when I did.
Yes.
I was actually thinking yesterday about bits and pieces, and I thought, you know, the idea of a Scorcher top in a t-shirt. I don't know yet. I'll run it past the boys, see what they think. You know, see what you guys think. But you know, we've been asked for shorts and other bits and pieces over the last few years as well. That just different ideas at different times. You know, we don't do a camo t-shirt, so I thought maybe we could just talk to the pattern maker and get a pattern made up to just knock the sleeves off the Scorcher top and bring it a t-shirt. So we're currently talking, myself and the boys are talking at the moment about our next order with the manufacturers. So this is something I'll have a chat with them about, and be interesting to see hear what you guys think. If that's you know, I don't know. Some people love wearing a sort of a camo tee and whatever else, and other people like having long sleeves, and some people like wearing shorts, and some people like wearing long pants. So you know, it's
I definitely probably alternate between both. Like, I think that'd be perfect if you're, you know, in north of Australia hunting pigs or whatever when it's super hot. You know, where you could get away with a t-shirt, you know, like that. Obviously you could get sunburnt or whatever, but yeah, that'd be, for those sort of circumstances would be perfect.
Mm.
But I'd still wear it down here anyway in the summer and in the hot days. I mean, today's 39, 40 degrees outside, but I'd still probably, if it wasn't that windy, I'd still go out looking for rabbits or whatever, and I'd probably wear that.
Yeah, you'd wear it to
So
Macca's,
I reckon
wouldn't you?
that'd be a good thing. I wear,
Be the first.
I wear too much camo everywhere, and especially the Macca's to buy me coffee.
I was going to say buy you coffee.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, but no. Speaking of though, I haven't heard back, but I might get in trouble for this. I wrote to the boys this morning and I said, "Look, I'm thinking about doing a supporters package, pre-rut, get rut ready supporters package, of with purchases over a certain amount. I have to wait for the number crunching to happen to work out what the amount might be, but do a free tee, free cap, and a free tote bag, logo wear tote bag, and the logo shirt and that for any orders over a certain amount. So that looks like something we're going to do for people before the rut, whoever's keen to pick up some gear to get themselves ready for the deer seasons. So that's something that you can look out for. That's going to happen soon. Get a bit of extra value with the gear, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. And then people can use Urban 15 and get an extra little bit of value off that package deal.
Well, unfortunately,
I was going to say it's already discounted.
well, the way and I can't
Scrap that idea.
No, I can't actually make that happen as far as the back end of the software is concerned. You can sort of only put in one code at once. Unfortunately, but there still is Urban 15 for anyone who wants to buy some in the meantime.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's it.
Yep, jump on.
Urban 15, 15% off. I think that's. I think your code's been getting used a little bit actually of late, boys. I've had
That's good.
I had some people mention it to me, so yeah, that's good. Word's getting out there, and all the good stuff's happening. Happy days.
If anyone has any questions about it though, and they can't get hold of you, I mean, you're pretty good, getting back to them anyway. But just shoot us a message, if they want to, ask any questions. How do we find this? How do we like that? Let us know. I mean, we're not going to try and sell it to you if we didn't think it was any good or anything like that. But if we can be honest and help you out and make your decision, and on sizing especially, because that's probably the biggest question that I guess people ask is, what size did you get and how does this fit or whatever, and as I know, if people watch our videos or know us on social, Scott's, tall and skinny and I'm not. I'm the opposite. So people might just say, what size are you? How do you find it? Whatever, and I can give them my opinion, because I actually had someone come up to me the other day and asked me that, and he came around and tried some of my stuff on here, the face veil and a few other bits and pieces, and and I didn't try to do the hard sell or anything, because that's not my place. But no, I was just honest, and I, told him about the 4-way stretch and how the pockets work, and and all that sort of stuff, and and it was a good thing, and he knows about it. He might pass it on to someone else. I don't know, but yeah, any questions, let us know. Feel free to just shoot us, a question on email, whatever.
And at the same time too, like you talking about it or answering questions like that for people is, there's you don't get anything out of that as such. It's not like not like you could go to you guys, ask you a question and come back and like, oh well, they're just saying it because they sell the shit, and that's always that's always a reasonable gripe that people can have at times, but that's definitely not the case with you blokes. So it's fair income straight down the line, no bullshit.
Yeah, and one of the good things too is because we've tried a lot of other brands. You know what I mean? Like, as I said, we've tried Ridgeline stuff, we've tried the Spiker, we've tried probably at least one of everything at some point. We can, if someone does have that, I've worn this before, what do you think is the comparison? And just say, yep, I've got one here, or I used to wear one there, or whatever. We can just say these are for and against for both of them. And and one thing I never do is I never bag any other brand at all. But if something works, then I'll just be honest about that too. I mean, it's just how it is, and every other brand is good, and they do have their own sort of merits, and they do have their own technology and all that sort of stuff behind it. And And I think Brackenware, what we're sticking with at the moment is just that one little step better build quality as far as than the other expensive stuff you can get in Australia. I'm not comparing to your stone glacier bits and pieces or whatever, because that's it's on par with Brackenware anyway. But I haven't worn that, so I can't I can't comment on that. But as far as the quality of Brackenware stuff, I mean it's probably it's on par with the best. And if people need to see it and try it, if they possibly can get to a show, if you're at full hunting shows or anything like that, if you are going to those things, definitely check it out. Don't discount it, and you won't be you won't be disappointed with it, that's for sure.
And that's part of it too. I can certainly acknowledge that there's other good brands out there, and especially in my opinion, acknowledging other good Australian brands. You've got Doug and Tony making Tusks gear. You've got Blackfoot Designs. They're great Australian businesses making gear that is there for Australian hunters to access. And I haven't bought any of that gear, and I can't turn around and say what I think about it because I've never used it. But at the same time, I know the hunters behind it are top-notch blokes and very experienced. So I know exactly what's probably going on in their minds with their approach to designing their products and getting them made and trying to do their best to bring as good a quality stuff as they can to the market for Australian hunters to be able to access. And it's always fantastic to see people using their stuff. I obviously would like people to use the stuff that we make and we sell, but at the same time, I understand our gear isn't for everyone, and people have their own preferences or people have their own likes and dislikes, and that's absolutely fine. But then if I see those people wearing another Australian camo brand and supporting Australian business rather than, big market, big rifle, big gun, whatever you want to call them, that's something I also get a real kick out of, because I know that the people standing behind those small Australian businesses are also, working to put food on the table, just like I am, and my business partners are. And seeing other people doing that to support them means that that's good for them, and that's good for Australian hunting in the full circle, not just I bought some down at Camo R Us, and it was brought in by this big highfalutin multinational company that brings in 17 other brands and, supplies BCF and supplies Anaconda and da-da-da-da-da, It's literally the mum and dad business getting support by other mum and dads who like to go out and go hunting. And that is something I'm always very great to see. I think it's very great to see, but I'm also very supportive of, and I always feel that it's a good thing for our industry in Australia to be supportive of everybody who's having a crack in Australia, and doing it that way.
I think that's lacking a little bit, in the whole hunting community in Australia, really. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy, when we should just be always backing each other up regardless.
100%.
And that sort of frustrates us a lot. We have a lot of conversations about it. It's like, someone might go to a state forest and, get a fallow buck that's just a stickhead or a spiker or something, and other people are like, I would have let it go, let it grow, sort of stuff. And that might be huge for them. We like to support those people regardless as well. As a hunter, you should be going and saying congrats.
100%. So I've always advocated for, the fact that we should be concentrating on increasing the pie rather than increasing our portion of it. Because if we increase the pie, and that at the end of the day is, we bring more people to hunting. And even not as a business owner, if I encourage people into hunting, then the big picture of hunting actually gets better for me, because it brings more weight behind what we do. So things that we would like to see happen, or things that we'd like to see change, or industries that otherwise mightn't be interested in what we do that have technologies that they can bring to it to improve it or advance it, whatever, all of a sudden they go, well, 3 years ago, there were 70,000 hunters within, Queensland. Now there's 120,000 hunters within Queensland. That's a big uptick in participants. So we might get interested in this industry now and bring these technologies in that we think might have an application here, and we actually might, be able to do well from that. So that then enhances what we do, and it's always been the same. Even back in the days with the forums, where you go, well, this shop has that exclusive thing, and this shop's that exclusive importer, and this shop's saying their shit, and they're saying their shit, and whatever. It's like, guys, just work together, make the pie bigger, then you all have a bigger slice of the same pie. So you're all benefiting anyway, rather than this fighting against each other sort of a thing. And that's something that I think is changing. It's turning around more so than certainly like it was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, agreed.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like I said, we're all in it because we're hunters. So if we all support hunting, whatever form that is for you, then everybody benefits, not just me. Because being selfish about focusing on what's good for me, in the end, just is detrimental for everybody, including me, in the long run. And that doesn't help anybody. It's not going to do. It's not going to do shit for no one. Which is really good English.
No, that's it.
It's good English. What do you reckon, boys? Wrap it up there.
Yeah, we could do.
Yep.
Yeah,
could do.
Spoken enough bullshit.
You sound like you got more to say, Scotty.
I've always got more to say. No, we've spoken enough shit.
Yeah. Well, that's seeing us through about 2 hours. So that's about where we got to last time, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It was about that.
Hopefully, I'll make it to the end of this one in the audio. You didn't disable my audio 10 minutes ago.
Well, not that I'm going to tell you now. No, I'm sure we'll work it out. Somehow we'll make it happen. We'll make it work. Yes, technology is my favorite. 100%. My favorite thing when it works properly.
That's it.
Yeah, it's all good.
No, beautiful.
Well, thanks for
having us on
along,
again,
boys. I'm gonna pull up stumps here. I'm gonna go and get another drink, and I might sit down and plug this into the editing machine and upload it, and everyone can have a listen. And we might get some people falling asleep to us, our dulcet tones tonight when they head to bed. Probably
They'll
not.
be dreaming of a Macca's coffee.
Yeah, that's it.
And shitting through the eye of a needle in a paddock in
Or the
bloody
aftermath.
Dalby.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thanks for coming along, boys. I really appreciate your time, And for people who are listening at home, make sure you check the lads out, Urban to Outland, socials on Facebook, Instagram, and especially their YouTube channel where they've got plenty of really good footage and good stuff to watch, good stuff to learn from. Some really crazy adventures, as you hear, broken legs and barbed wire fences in the crutch and, all that sort of shit. But if you do have any questions for the boys, hit them up. They're very, very open to helping people out. If you're new to hunting and you have any questions for the lads about anything, rifle hunters, bow hunters as well. So they know a bit about a whole bunch of shit. And if you're down in Melbourne, reach out. They're around the place there as well. It's certainly worth giving them a like, give them a follow, give them a share, and check out their shit because it's good value for money because it's free.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Well, perfect. Thanks, mate.
No, you're right, boys. Appreciate your time, mate. Talk soon.
Thanks again. Appreciate
Cheers, mate. Catcha.
Well, there you go, guys. That wraps up today's episode 9 in the bank. Bit of a good catch up with the boys and a bit of banter. And I hope that at least filled some time for you and you found it entertaining and maybe learn a few things. I don't know, but it's always great to catch up with Scotty and Jamie. They are two top blokes, absolutely passionate hunters, and so enthusiastic about what they do and sharing it with anybody who wants to learn or to know or to just watch along on their YouTube, and check out their channels. They've been doing it for a long time, and it'll be great to know that they'll be doing it for a long time to come yet. And to see those boys get out in the field, taking game, doing good for the Aussie bush, and also, enjoying the hunt, the process, introducing their kids to it, supplying meat for their families, all of those awesome things that all of us absolutely love about what it is that we do in whichever form that we choose to do it. So there we go. I'll get this up, another episode on a Friday, and is it Friday today? Yeah, it is. It's Friday. Shift work just throws me out all the time. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and get in touch. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, share, and like I said, get in touch. We love hearing from people and getting feedback or questions or anything you like. Suggestions for episodes is always something we welcome. People to talk to, topics to cover. Bring it on. We'll talk about almost anything and almost everything. And we just carry on and we do what we do. So thanks again, everybody, for listening. Have a great weekend. Get out there, get amongst it, and most of all, enjoy your hunting. All right, see ya.